Alright everybody, and here we are at Game 3. This is after Sideboard, so Bob's going to be starting it off. He's going to lead off on a Hallowed Fountain, shock himself down to 18, and toss out a Cloudfin Raptor. I'm going to pick up Temple of Plenty. I'm going to look at this one for a second, really try and decide whether I want it or not. I'm pretty sure I end up binning it, and I do. Goes to the bottom, pass it back to Bob. He's going to toss out, I think, another Hallowed Fountain here. Yes, he does. Shocks himself down. Really aggressive start for him. But at least he doesn't have the Mutavault like he's had in the past couple games. But he does have an Omenspeaker. Now, his list is actually running Omenspeakers over Tidebinder Mages, which is pretty interesting. And it's just something we were testing. So he might end up going back to the Tidebinder Mages. But I think he said he liked it a lot. I mean, right here he gets to bin one thing and keep something on top. So that's pretty good. He's going to knock me down to 19 and pass the turn back to me. I end up ripping a Detention Sphere, yay, so I actually have one of those early for once. That never seems to happen. So I'm just going to toss down a Hallowed Fountain, pass it back to him. He doesn't have too much damage on board right now, so I'm not really that concerned. However, he does have his typical turn 3 Thassa, and he's going to come in for 2. I'm going to go to 17. He's going to go real crazy over there for some reason. I'm going to pick up what looks to be an Aetherling, so that's good. That's something that we haven't actually seen in the past 2 games. I mean, I only have one in the main deck, so it's not something that comes out often, but it does win pretty much every game it resolves. So there's that. It looks like he has a Celestial Flare in his hand. That's obviously in anticipation of the Mistcutter Hydras I'm clearly going to bring in this matchup. But he's going to end up playing a pretty early Master of the Waves here. He actually ends up getting a whole bunch off of it too. So, I mean, 4 dudes on turn 4 from a Master of Waves is pretty good. Just going to bring in now 3 damage, and I'm going to Unravel the Aether, which is just a fabulous card against this deck. So I'm going to end up taking some damage. Take 3 damage, go down to 14. Just play an island on my turn. I'm looking pretty at a couple different things. So I'm going to Detention Sphere the Master of Waves right here. Make sure that I don't have that much damage coming in, because if you've noticed how these games have been going, I end up going down pretty low pretty early, so I'm just going to try and stave off as much damage as I can. So I'm going to take another 3 here, go down to 11, and he actually has Revoke Existence, which is just as good as Unravel the Aether pretty much in this matchup. So he's going to end up getting that Master back, getting a whole bunch more dudes, and then passing it back to me. Now right here, I think I have another Detention Sphere for the Master Waves. I think he was kind of salty about that, so I'm just going to run that out there, get rid of that, and play an Elixir, which is also pretty decent in this matchup, just being able to recur things like my Unravel the Aether, and just getting 5 life back, obviously, is going to be pretty good here in this matchup. He's going to toss down, I think, another Omenspeaker, and he does. So he gets to scry a little. Same thing, throws 1 on the bottom, keeps 1 on top. And I imagine he's going to swing here. Yeah, so he's going to bring another 3. Take me down to 8. So I'm already down pretty far. And I still only have 4 land. We're both sort of missing land drops, but I managed to find a Mutavault. Yay, a Mutavault on my side. That's fun. Play out a Jace, and as usual, my Jace is going to be ticking up here in this matchup. So he's going to draw. He is going to rip. Couldn't really see. It looks like he has another Thassa. So I imagine that's what's going to come down here. And it does. So Thassa isn't active yet, so that's definitely a bonus. He's going to bring in the 1 because of the Jace trigger, dropping me down to 7. Looks like I have an Azorius Charm, and I think I'm probably just going to end up ticking up Jace here and passing the turn. Ponder it a little bit. No, I have a Kiora in my hand. Okay, so Kiora is going to come down. And I imagine I'm probably going to Kiora on the Thassa, since she looks pretty close to going active. And that's exactly what I do. So I'm going to pass that turn back over to Bob. He's going to scry, decide if he likes what he sees. He does, and he should. It's a Nightveil Spectre, so that's going to turn on Thassa. Although I think he had a Master of Waves in his hand too, and I mean, that's going to turn it. But I mean, it's probably better to play on the Nightveil Spectre and then... Oh no, he does play the Master of Waves. He does play the Master of Waves, but he only taps 3 for it. Bob. Well, it seems like it was likely irrelevant that mana was left open. So whatevs. Yeah, what appears so. So I'm definitely going to go digging here because he just got lots of dudes. And there it is! Well, good for me. Finally get the minus of Jace, and I get exactly what I needed. So yeah, those are going to get thrown right on the bottom. I don't even think I'm going to put that Supreme Verdict in my hand. I'm just going to, yep, leave that right there, cast that, and get rid of all that nonsense on the table. Okay. So I actually stop him here. I'm like, no, wait. I actually haven't done anything. I got way too excited. So I'll play my land for the turn, which is probably going to be that Breeding Pool that I just scooped back up. Well, I'll Kiora first on Thassa. Just in case, you know, he manages to get a whole lot more blue mana symbols on the field somehow with the 4 mana he has. But, I mean, she might as well target something. Okay, so he actually does. He actually does find a way to get all those symbols back on the field, so I'm glad I did that. Okay, so, I mean, we're sitting pretty good here. I mean, it's 16-6, but we're definitely keeping him off his threats, and there's a Mistcutter Hydra, so that's definitely something I'm happy to see in this matchup. But I think I'm just sort of on the get Kiora ultimate plan again, like I was last turn, and that clearly works out very well. So yeah, I'm gonna Kiora up that Thassa again, make sure she can't do any damage next turn, and just pass. He's gonna scry. And yeah, well, I mean, if the game just keeps giving him masters, I guess you are going to take those off your scry triggers, huh? Alright, so he ends up getting a whole ton of dudes off of that. What, he ends up getting 6 dudes off of that? That is a lot. But lucky for me, I do have the Azorius Charm to make sure that Kiora does in fact go ultimate next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and crack my elixir right here. Get back to 5 life and just shuffle a few of those things back in. Make sure I don't shuffle the Detention Sphere that got Revoke Existence. Make sure I put that aside. Looks like I have a Breeding Pool I just got this turn. I know I have the Mistcutter Hydra in my hand, and I think I have the Aetherling from earlier. So I'm sitting pretty good. Definitely. I'm probably going to end up ticking this Jace back up. I'm going to ultimate Kiora right here. Just pondering. Yep, there goes the Breeding Pool, and end my turn and get my beautiful Beast of the Sea. They're so big. 9/9 is just gigantic. And it's like he's at 16, so as soon as I get 2 of those out there, then I mean he just goes on block status. So this is a big turn for him. He has to try and decide how to get as much damage in as possible. But instead he's just going to play out a Nightveil Spectre. I really thought he'd keep up some land to get some things through with unblockable. But, I mean, I suppose he has a whole bunch of dudes to get through anyway. And he couldn't... Well, no, actually, I mean, I guess he could do something with Thassa that turn. I have to have something for that. So he's just sitting here thinking whether he actually wants to attack with a bunch of things or not. Right now, all he's got attacking is the Cloudfin Raptor. But he's going to end up bringing some amount of tokens as well. So, yeah, he's going to bring 5 of those tokens. He's going to leave 1 back. And I'm just going to sit here contemplating my blocks. I think I'm just only going to block 1 token. I have no idea why I didn't activate my Mutavault here. And block 1 of those down as well. But it's whatever. I have the life to take. Oh, that's why. Because I want to Sphinx's Revelation for a whole bunch. And that's fair. Yes, I'm going to Sphinx's for 3. And that actually seems a lot better. So yeah, I'm going to draw probably a whole bunch of meat. I can't imagine the cards I drew at this point. Like, weren't now. There's that Unravel the Aether just off the top. See, that's why we pop Elixir. You just always end up getting back the stuff you want. So I got a couple Krakens. I got Jace. Got my Mutavault sitting there. I got an Aetherling in hand. I got a Mistcutter in hand. And this game really just got out of hand for Bob very quickly. Not that he doesn't have a very respectable field on his side, but I mean, his stuff just isn't doing nearly as much as mine. He can't really swing for lethal based on what he has, and I can just kill him immediately on a crackback if he doesn't have anything to block. So he has to be real careful with what he does. Okay, so he ends up drawing right there, puts the thing on the bottom, gets an Omenspeaker yet once more. Decides to put them both on the bottom. And we're just going to see. I mean, he's got a lot of thinking to do. I mean, yeah, look at that. Look at that, there's 2 Jaces in my hand too. Wow, that's just like really nuts. That was finally like shaking with content right there, instead of the malcontent or discontent of the last couple games. So he's definitely going to go ahead and try to bring Thassa this time. I mean, really, I think he's probably just shipping as many guys as he possibly can. He's going to end up leaving, I believe, 2 tokens back this time and just bringing 3. which makes it really easy for me to activate my Mutavault this turn. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate my Mutavault. Well, first I'm going to unravel the Azorius Thassa and just make him real salty. Then I'm going to activate my Mutavault. I'm going to block down all the tokens that were coming in with my 2 Krakens and my Mutavault. And then I'm just going to end up taking, what? 1 from the Cloudfin Raptor? No, 2. Oh, because of the, yeah, him. So he's going to get something really exciting to play. And it actually is pretty exciting because he hasn't had a land in about forever. And I suppose that's one he could actually use, so he'll finally go up to 5 mana. Just going to shuffle up here and pass the turn back to me. And I'm really just firmly sitting in the driver's seat here. I actually don't even think I end up needing to cast that Aetherling this game. So we're going to see what happens. Yeah, I'm reminding him that those are in fact tokens and that his Omenspeaker doesn't have 2 counters on it for some reason. Okay, so I know I sit here for a while just trying to contemplate whether or not I should finally start bringing these dudes. And yeah, I'm just going to start. I got big Krakens. He's only got a couple blockers out there, so he has to block them down. Yeah, so he's going to lose an Omenspeaker. He's going to lose one of the tokens that he left back. Just sort of contemplating whether or not I actually need to play out a blocker here. And this is actually really tasty because I've already plussed up my Jace. So I'm going to play another Jace and plus him up so that I get 2 instances of that trigger on the stack next turn. So he can't effectively attack with anything. Yeah, so he just can't do any damage to me next turn, which is really awesome. He still has that Celestial Flare. He's going to end up playing out another Nightveil Spectre here, and I do have a Syncopate for that. So he's going to get pated. And he gets real excited about that. He was just real excited this whole match because of like how bad I was losing to begin with. Well, I don't know that I was ever really losing. It's just my deck has a tendency to go so far down on life so quick, and then you just stabilize, and that's it. Once you stabilize, you turn the corner, and then it's just your game. So I'm reminding myself that I actually have 3 tokens here at this point. I'm going to end up just bringing all of those dudes. That's probably where he's going to end up using a Celestial Flare because he has that 2 white mana just sitting there. So just really contemplating it. I mean, this is very close, and it needs to be reminded because, I mean, he has a lot of really explosive draws at this point. Like, because he could just get a Detention Sphere at any point and just get rid of all of my Krakens, and that could set me back pretty far. But yeah, I'm going to just, yep, just ship those dudes, and he's going to have the Celestial Flare, and I'm going to say, whatever, you still got to block 2 of them or you die. So, yup. So, last token and Master Waves are going to go to the wayside, and I am going to tick up Jace and then do the exact same thing again. Effectively just negating any damage that he could possibly do. So, he is going to look and see what he has. Reminding myself that I did get another Kraken at the end of the turn. Trying not to be bad guys, really. Really, I'm trying. So, he's just going to pass. This leaves me in the perfect position to just cast this Mistcutter Hydra for just everything that I have. And just bring in a whole bunch of... I'm like, oh, dissolve. Like, what's that going to do? You're going to counter my Mistcutter Hydra. He's like, nope. All right. Yep. Scoop. Bud. All right. So that's the first after sideboarded game. There's obviously a lot of things that came in from sideboard that they were really good. But we're going to go to game 4.